Just when it seemed Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann's long-running divorce couldn't become any more dramatic, another courtroom twist pushed the case back into the spotlight. This time, the stakes were even higher. According to newly filed court documents, the former Real Housewives of Atlanta star was facing the possibility of being jailed. Not because of a new lawsuit or custody ruling, but over unpaid court-order fees tied to one of the most bitter celebrity divorces in recent memory. According to documents obtained by TMZ, a Georgia judge ordered Kim to pay $2,535 in unpaid fees owed to the guardian ad litem appointed during her divorce proceedings. The court reportedly warned that if the payment wasn't made by the specified deadline, Kim could face incarceration. That possibility immediately caught the attention of fans, adding yet another dramatic chapter to a legal battle that has already stretched across several years. In the end, however, the story took a last-minute turn. TMZ reports that Kim paid the outstanding amount before the deadline, removing the immediate threat of jail. While that payment appears to have resolved the specific issue, it does not bring an end to the larger conflict between Kim and her estranged husband, Kroy Biermann. Their ongoing disputes over custody, parenting, and financial matters continue to keep both parties returning to court. What makes this latest development especially compelling is that it isn't simply about one unpaid bill. It's connected to a much broader custody dispute involving a court-appointed guardian, competing allegations made by both parents, and years of legal disagreements that have unfolded in public view. Over time, the divorce has evolved into one of the most closely followed family court battles involving former reality television stars. So, how did a disagreement over a relatively small court payment become serious enough to carry the possibility of jail? Why did the guardian ad litem become such a controversial figure in this divorce? And why does this family continue making headlines years after the separation first began? The answers reveal that this legal battle is about much more than money, and the drama may be far from over. But while the headlines focus on the possibility of jail time, the story actually began with a court order involving a relatively modest amount of money. What made the situation so dramatic wasn't the size of the unpaid balance. It was a serious consequence attached to it. In a divorce already filled with years of legal conflict, this became one of the most surprising developments yet. According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, a Georgia judge ordered Kim Zolciak to pay $2,535 in outstanding fees owed to the guardian ad litem assigned to her divorce and custody case with Kroy Biermann. Unlike a lawyer representing one side, a guardian ad litem is appointed by the court to help evaluate issues involving the children and provide recommendations based on the findings. The fees in question were connected to that court-appointed role. The court's order reportedly included a clear warning. If Kim failed to pay the outstanding amount by the deadline set by the judge, she could face incarceration. That possibility immediately made headlines because it's relatively uncommon for celebrity divorce stories to reach the point where unpaid court-related fees carry the threat of jail. Within hours, the development spread across entertainment news outlets and social media, with many fans expressing surprise that the dispute had escalated so far. Fortunately for Kim, the situation changed before that deadline arrived. TMZ reports that she paid the $2,535 owed, satisfying court's order and removing the immediate risk of incarceration. That payment appears to have resolved the specific issue, meaning the threat of jail no longer hangs over this portion of the case. However, paying the fees does not resolve the broader legal battle that has continued between Kim and Kroy for years. The episode also highlights how complicated and emotionally charged divorce proceedings can become, especially when custody issues are involved. Even relatively small financial disputes connected to court orders can have significant legal consequences if they're not addressed on time. In this instance, what might have seemed like a routine payment quickly became national entertainment news because of the potential outcome. But the unpaid fees are only part of the story. The bigger question is why a guardian ad litem was involved in the first place, and why that court-appointed role eventually became one of the most controversial aspects of Kim and Kroy's ongoing custody battle. That's where this legal drama takes another dramatic turn. But while the unpaid fees grabbed the headlines, they were really just a result of something much bigger. At the center of this latest courtroom dispute is a court-appointed guardian ad litem, a role that became one of the most important and most controversial Parts of Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann's custody battle. Understanding why that guardian was appointed helps explain why this case has remained so emotional and complicated. During the ongoing divorce proceedings, the Georgia court appointed a guardian ad litem to assist with issues involving the couples for minor children. Unlike an attorney hired by either parent, a guardian ad litem is appointed by the court to independently evaluate matters affecting the children and provide recommendations regarding their best interests. In cases involving disputed custody, judges often rely on guardians to gather information that may help the court make informed decisions. According to court records referenced by TMZ, the guardian interviewed Kim, Kroy, and each of their 4 minor children as part of that evaluation. Those conversations were intended to help the guardian better understand the family's circumstances before making recommendations related to custody and parenting arrangements. Although the guardian's recommendations could be influential, the final decisions always remain with the judge overseeing the case. As the custody dispute continued, however, the guardian became a source of disagreement between the former spouses. Kim has previously claimed that the guardian failed to properly consider her concerns regarding alleged abuse and her complaints about Kroy's parenting. From Kim's perspective, the process did not fully reflect the issues she believed the court should examine. Those concerns became part of the broader conflict surrounding the custody proceedings. Kroy, on the other hand, has strongly disagreed with Kim's criticisms of the guardian. According to previous reports, he has argued that Kim's belief that the guardian was unfairly targeting her is unfounded. Their opposing views regarding the guardian's role illustrate just how differently each parent sees nearly every aspect of the ongoing legal battle. Even the professional appointed by the court became another point of conflict rather than common ground. It's important to remember that these statements represent the parties' respective positions in an ongoing family court dispute. Allegations made by either side have not necessarily been proven in court, and the guardian ad litem's purpose is to assist the judge, not to determine the outcome of the case independently. Unfortunately, the disagreements didn't stop with the guardian's involvement. As the custody fight intensified, both Kim and Kroy began making serious allegations about each other's parenting, creating an even deeper divide between the former couple. Those competing claims have become some of the most contentious issues in their years-long divorce battle. But as the custody proceedings continued, the disagreements between Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann extended far beyond financial issues and court-appointed professionals. The divorce evolved into a deeply personal dispute, with both parents making serious allegations about each other's behavior and parenting. Those competing claims have become one of the defining features of their years-long legal battle. According to previous court filings and reports, Kim has argued that her concerns about Kroy's parenting were not given enough weight during the custody process. She has claimed that the guardian ad litem failed to properly consider allegations she raised regarding abuse and other parenting issues. From Kim's perspective, those concerns deserve greater attention as the court evaluated what custody arrangement would be in the children's best interests. Kroy has firmly rejected that narrative. According to reports, he has maintained that Kim's belief the guardian was unfairly targeting her simply isn't true. He has also made allegations of his own, claiming that the couple's children were experiencing mental abuse while in Kim's care. Those statements reflect Kroy's position in the custody dispute and are allegations, not findings made by the court. The fact that both parents have presented such different accounts highlights why this case has become so difficult to resolve. Rather than disagreeing over isolated incidents, Kim and Kroy appear to have fundamentally different views of what has happened within the family. Each believes the evidence supports their own position, while strongly disputing the claims made by the other. As with any ongoing family court matter, it's important to distinguish allegations from established facts. Family law cases often involve competing testimony, conflicting accounts, and evidence that must be carefully evaluated by the court. Public reports may describe what each side has alleged, but only the judge can determine what weight, if any, should ultimately be given to those claims after reviewing all of the evidence. Unfortunately, disputes like these rarely remain confined to the courtroom. Over time, prolonged legal battles can place enormous emotional strain on everyone involved, especially when children are at the center of the conflict. That's one reason Kim and Kroy's divorce has continued attracting public attention long after many expected it to be resolved. And despite years of hearings, filings, and public disagreements, Neither side appears ready to walk away. The custody fight, financial disputes, and ongoing legal motions have turned what began as a celebrity divorce into one of the longest-running and most closely followed family court battles in reality television. But the courtroom isn't the only place where the effects of the split are being felt. But after years of court hearings, emotional allegations, and countless headlines, many fans are asking the same question. Why does this divorce still seem far from over? What began as the end of marriage has evolved into an ongoing legal saga, with new disputes surfacing almost every few months. Instead of moving toward closure, Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann continue finding themselves back in court over new issues. Kim and Kroy first announced their separation after more than a decade of marriage, and since then, their divorce has been marked by repeated legal filings involving child custody, child support, finances, and parenting disagreements. Rather than one major court battle followed by a settlement, the case has unfolded through a series of separate disputes, each adding another layer of complexity to an already difficult situation. Financial issues have repeatedly played a major role in the divorce. Over the past few years, reports have described ongoing disagreements involving family expenses, legal costs, and other financial obligations connected to the case. The recent dispute over the $2,535 guardian ad litem fee may seem small compared to other celebrity legal battles, but illustrates how even relatively minor court-ordered payments can become significant when tensions between the parties remain high. Custody has also remained one of the most emotionally charged aspects of the proceedings. Because the couple share 4 minor children, many of the court's decisions involve issues that extend far beyond finances. Questions about parenting responsibilities, living arrangements, and the children's well-being have kept the legal process moving along after many expected the divorce to be finalized. Every new disagreement seems to create another issue requiring court intervention. The public nature of the case has only intensified the attention. As former reality television stars, Kim and Kroy have lived much of their personal lives in the spotlight, meaning many courtroom developments quickly become entertainment headlines. Every new filing, court order, or public statement is closely followed by fans, turning what would normally remain a private family dispute into a widely discussed celebrity story. Unfortunately, prolonged divorces often leave lasting emotional effects that extend beyond legal paperwork. Even after certain disputes are resolved, unresolved tensions can continue affecting family relationships for years. That's one reason many observers believe the true impact of this divorce reaches far beyond the courtroom itself. And perhaps no recent development illustrates that emotional impact more clearly than comments made by someone very close to the family. As the legal battle continues, Kim's adult daughter, Real Biermann, has offered a glimpse into how the ongoing conflict may have affected relationships within the family, revealing that the divisions may extend well beyond Kim and Kroy alone. But while most of the attention is focused on court filings and legal arguments, one recent comment reminded everyone that this story isn't only about judges and paperwork. It's also about family relationships. As Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann continue their years-long divorce battle, their daughter Real Biermann has publicly revealed just how much those tensions may have affected the people closest to them. In a recent interview, Real shared that she hasn't spoken to Kroy in quite some time, a statement that immediately caught fans' attention. For years, viewers of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and the family's reality shows watched Real and Kroy appear to have a close relationship. Hearing that they are no longer in regular contact came as a surprise to many longtime followers of the family. Real also revealed that she doesn't believe Kroy will attend her upcoming wedding. While she didn't go into extensive detail about everything that led to that expectation, her comments suggested that the distance between them has become significant. For many fans, it was one of the clearest public signs, yet, that the ongoing divorce may have had effects extending beyond the legal battle between Kim and Kroy themselves. Online, reactions were immediate. Some fans expressed sadness that a relationship once viewed as close appears to have changed so dramatically. Others pointed out that long and emotionally difficult divorces can sometimes strain relationships throughout an entire family, not just between the two parents involved. Of course, much of that discussion reflects public opinion and speculation rather than confirmed details about the family's private relationships. Real's comments also added a more personal dimension to a story that has often been dominated by legal terminology and courtroom updates. Instead of discussing motions, custody evaluations, or financial disputes, Her remarks highlighted the human side of the situation. Behind every headline are family members trying to navigate years of conflict, changing relationships, and public attention. It's important to remember that Brielle was speaking from her own perspective, and neither Kim nor Kroy has publicly responded in detail to those specific comments. Family dynamics are often far more complex than what appears in news reports, and only those directly involved know the full picture. Still, her remarks have become another reminder that the emotional consequences of prolonged divorce can continue long after the biggest legal battles begin. Now that Kim has reportedly resolved the immediate issue involving the guardian ad litem fees, many people are wondering whether this marks the beginning of the end, or simply another brief pause in a divorce that has already lasted for years. With custody issues, family relationships, and legal matters still unfolding, the next chapter may be closer than anyone expects. But after years of legal filings, emotional accusations, financial disputes, and now a last-minute payment that reportedly helped Kim Zolciak avoid the possibility of jail, one question still remains unanswered. What happens next? While this latest court issue may have been resolved, it's becoming increasingly clear that the broader divorce battle between Kim and Kroy Biermann is far from over. For now, the immediate legal threat appears to have passed. According to TMZ, Kim paid the $2,535 owed to the court-appointed guardian ad litem before the judge's deadline, eliminating the possibility of incarceration tied to that specific order. But that payment doesn't resolve the many other issues that have kept the former couple returning to court over the past several years. Custody continues to be one of the biggest unresolved matters. Because Kim and Kroy share 4 minor children, the court must continue addressing parenting arrangements and any remaining custody-related disputes before every aspect of the divorce can truly be finalized. As long as disagreements remain over those issues, additional hearings or legal filings remain possible. Financial matters could also continue to play an important role. High-profile divorces often involve ongoing questions about support, legal expenses, and compliance with court orders. While the guardian ad litem fee has reportedly been paid, both parties may still face additional financial decisions as the remaining legal issues work their way through the court system. Exactly how those matters are resolved will depend on future court proceedings and any agreements the parties are able to reach. Beyond the courtroom, many fans are wondering whether the emotional divisions within the family can ever fully heal. Kroy Biermann's recent comments about her relationship with Kroy suggest that the effects of the divorce may extend well beyond legal documents and judicial rulings. Although legal disputes eventually come to an end, rebuilding family relationships can often take much longer and sometimes remains the most difficult challenge of all. For now, neither Kim nor Kroy has indicated that all of their disagreements have been resolved. Their years-long divorce has repeatedly produced new developments, making it difficult to predict when the final chapter will truly arrive. As a result, many observers expect the case to remain closely watched until every remaining issue has been settled by the court or resolved through agreement. One thing is certain. Paying the outstanding court fees may have closed one chapter, but it hasn't closed the book. The immediate threat of jail appears to be behind Kim, yet the larger custody, financial, and family issues continue to cast a long shadow over one of reality television's most closely followed divorces. Whether the next headlines bring peace, another courtroom battle, or an unexpected resolution, fans will undoubtedly be watching every step of the way. As this latest chapter comes to a close, one thing is clear. Kim Zolciak may have avoided the immediate threat of jail, but her long-running divorce from Kroy Biermann is still far from finished. The reported payment of $2,535 resolved one specific court order, yet it does little to erase years of custody disputes, financial disagreements, and deeply personal conflict that have kept this case in the headlines. What makes this story so compelling isn't simply the courtroom drama. It's the way every new development reveals another layer of an already complicated family situation, from the appointment of a guardian ad litem, to competing allegations over parenting, to Kroy Biermann's emotional comments about her relationship with Kroy. This divorce has become much more than a legal dispute. It has evolved into a story about family, trust, and the lasting impact that prolonged court battle can have on everyone involved. It's also important to remember that many of the claims discussed throughout this case remain allegations made by one side or the other. Family court disputes often involve competing accounts, and only the court can determine how the evidence should ultimately be weighed. While the headlines may focus on dramatic moments, the legal process itself is designed to carefully evaluate those competing claims before reaching any final decisions. For now, Kim has reportedly complied with the court's latest order, removing the immediate risk of incarceration. But with custody matters, financial issues, and family relationships still unresolved, it's unlikely this will be the final update in one of reality television's most closely followed divorces. Until every remaining issue is settled, new developments could continue to emerge. Now we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Kim and Kroy will eventually reach a peaceful resolution, or do you believe this legal battle still has a long way to go? Share your opinion in the comments below. And if you enjoy staying up to date with the biggest celebrity legal battles, reality TV drama, and Hollywood news, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next story.